To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
News team, assemble!
Joining us live because if you want to know anything about the Outer Banks, Sam Walker's the dude to fill you in.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli.
Always appreciate talking to you.
Always good stuff with Sam Walker in the Outer Banks.
Now here's Les Nessman and the news.
And good morning, everyone. It is OBX Today live for September 15th, 2021. Glad you're along with us here on Facebook Live and YouTube as we get your day started with all the news, sports, weather, and all the other good stuff from here on the Outer Banks. And looking like it's going to be kind of a wet day for some folks, already starting out with some showers and even some, showers now, but maybe looking at some thunderstorms as we get into the rest of the morning, especially on Hatteras Island. We've seen the shower activity increasing as the morning has gone on. Down on the South Beach, and all the way up to Pea Island this morning. We've seen some showers moving on shore, and looks like we're going to be dealing with those off and on throughout the day. Better chance of showers and storms inland areas as we get into the afternoon, but really that's going to be down south. Some say Hyde County down to New Bern, Jacksonville, Wilmington are going to be seeing the shower and storms today. Tomorrow is really going to be our best shot at rain up along all over northeastern North Carolina. Here's the latest look at the radar right now. And you can see those showers, clusters of showers and storms starting to make their way north right along Hatteras and Ocracoke this morning. And we'll be right offshore for the most part today, it looks like, at least from this line that's developing here. And then we'll see that shower chance increase, especially for tomorrow. Latest on our tropical weather situation. Nicholas right now is a tropical depression. The center of it located right along the Texas-Louisiana border, but it is not going to, it's not going to be a tropical depression much longer. In fact, they have stopped issuing advisories on that at the National Hurricane Center. But what is happening is we've got quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity to the right of the center, all the way into much of Louisiana, really lower Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia starting to get the worst of that right now. We'll swing over there on the radar image right at the moment and show you where the clusters of heavy rain are. As you can see, the deep south getting that rain from Nicholas, which is no longer a tropical depression, and is going to continue slowly making its way across the deep south. We're going to see the moisture increase for us, and that's going to increase our shower and thunderstorm chances tomorrow. Now, the latest on what's going to happen with this tropical depression, potential tropical depression. This is what things look like right now northeast of the Bahamas, as that tropical wave combining with an upper-level low is starting to get a little more disturbed and starting to show signs of development. That's going to continue for the next couple of days. Looks like Friday, we could see this as a tropical depression. The latest models, it's going to be a minimal tropical depression. It's going to struggle to become one. Now, as it gets up towards the Maritime or out over the Grand Banks and off Cape Cod and Newfoundland by the weekend, it may become a tropical depression, or at least become or tropical storm or subtropical storm. Most likely, it's just going to become a nor'easter. But it's going to just be a depression. Not many models keep it very close to us. We're looking at probably 100, 200 miles in the center. Most of the activity is going to stay to the east with it. And that's what we're looking at there. So we'll probably see a few gusty showers out of it, possibly. Most likely, we're just going to see the rip currents and a little bit of an onshore flow with what's going to become the next tropical depression in the next couple of days. Looks like it may become one before it gets to us, and then as it passes by on Friday, it's not going to be much, but just some disturbed weather. Do need to keep our eye on what's going on with 95L, which is still just off of Africa. Looking at least another week to 10 days before it's any threat to anywhere. Expected to become a hurricane and a pretty powerful one. If it gets stronger sooner, it most likely stays out as a fish. If it were to maybe not get as strong as fast, it might have a better chance of becoming a threat to the windwards, leewards, and as we get in the Lesser Antilles, the Greater Antilles, and then, of course, getting into the Bahamas and possibly the Southeast U.S. But right now, the current forecast pretty much keep it as a fish storm way offshore. But again, if it were to rapidly intensify, it's not expected to do that. Look, it's even going to become a minimal hurricane until this time next week. But that slow development may actually help it in terms of, so a lot of question marks there as to what's going to happen with that system that's out off of Africa. All right, it's OBX Today. Good morning. Welcome in here on Facebook Live and on YouTube. As we continue to pan around there, you can see those showers way up north of Avon Pier right now, but it's been raining off and on throughout the morning hours. We'll switch it over to Hadworth Village right now. All right, some of our headlines we've got this morning for you. Latest on COVID-19, Dare County reporting its highest number of weekly cases of the coronavirus this week. Since the pandemic began, it is, again, the highest number for a week, single week, that we've seen in Dare County, reported yesterday. And that was 200. Where is my numbers here? Getting a little issue with our, there we go. Story taking a little bit longer to load than it should. Here we go. New weekly cases, 279. That's the most single week of any during the pandemic. 168 active cases, 15 people hospitalized in that are Dare County residents, 2 that were non-residents who tested in Dare County. And that's the latest there on COVID-19 numbers. Statewide, 3,700 people hospitalized in North Carolina. 58 people had died from yesterday's report. All right, the state auditor's office putting out a report yesterday regarding the North Carolina Department of Transportation. And it was an evaluation of how their spending has been for the first half of the fiscal year that just ended in July. Now, the DOT stayed within budget for the first half of last fiscal year, but the state auditor's office says that was largely due to chance. They just got lucky because agency officials were not following spending guidelines put in place last year. The audit again presses DOT to establish annual spending plans based on specific road construction and maintenance projects and have managers monitor spending and enforce the set limits. Now, in response, Eric Boyette, Secretary of Transportation, said that agreed with many of the audit's findings and said DOT is working to adopt statistical modeling tools to better forecast spending. He said that modeling is easier for new projects. It's maintenance that gives them the biggest problem because they just never know what they're going to be dealing with in terms of having what type of maintenance projects. DOT in the past has cited their spending problems having to do with having to respond to so many hurricanes and flood damage, rock slides out in the mountains. Not so much dealing with maintenance out here on Highway 12 as people think. That has always been a bone of contention. A lot of people say, well, they pretty much can plan with that when that's considered under the maintenance budget, but it's also an emergency budget. But the maintenance being keeping ditches clean, drainage areas, things like that. DOT has not done a very good job, at least according to the state auditor's office, and that report has come out saying that there's still a risk for overruns because of a lack of focused spending plans by DOT. So one that will be worth keeping an eye on. Yesterday, got a news release regarding an old friend. That old friend being the Bonner Bridge. Yeah. NC State is using it to the parts of the old Bonner Bridge to learn more about how to build bridges safer and better. And in fact, DOT put out a video talking a little bit about that, and just so happens also to have somebody that we know, Tim Haas, who is the Division One and Ferry Division spokesperson for NCDOT. And, here's that video right now from NCDOT now.
I'm Tim Haas for NCDOT Now. For 50 years, the old Bonner Bridge stood over the Outer Banks. But today, here at NC State, pieces of it are teaching engineers how to build better bridges in the future. Girders from the now demolished bridge are being sent to Raleigh to undergo testing at NC State's Constructed Facilities Lab. There, they are put under two types of stress tests. First, to see where weaknesses would develop in the girder under continued regular use, and then to put extreme stress on it until it breaks. Engineers say being able to do these tests on a girder that's been out in the elements for half a century will teach them a lot.
What we're trying to really investigate is the amount of pre-stressing in this structure, is it enough? Should there be more? Should there be less? And how does that pre-stressing change throughout those 60 years? And so based on the results of this experiment, there might be changes to the way how things are done moving forward.
This Saturday marks a very important day for NCDOT crews and volunteers, the start of the fall litter sweep. NCDOT.
All right, so there you go. And in fact, that video showing the girder breaking, it actually took 200,000 pounds of force to cause that break of that girder that was at one time spanning Oregon Inlet on the old Bonner Bridge. Demolition has all but been finished on the bridge. Still a little bit of more work that has to be done before they are going to be complete. And that is one of the holdups for getting the old Bonner Bridge section that's going to remain on the south shore, that remains on the south shore of Oregon Inlet, becoming a fishing pier and walkway, is that they do need to wrap up all the operations that they've been doing there as part of the demolition. Once all that's finished and they get everything finalized and cleaned up, they're going to have that open hopefully here in the next month or two. But demolition work of the old Bonner Bridge is just about finished. Not much left there. But it's pretty cool to see how they were able to take that 60-year-old beam and put 200,000 pounds of pressure on it, and that's what it took to break it. So despite all the issues that the Bonner Bridge had over the years, it is pretty amazing how much it could still take and how much longer it lasted out in the elements of Oregon Inlet. Hey, watch this one more time. It is pretty cool. Boom. That's amazing. All right, so that from DOT. You can check out that full video right now at obxtoday.com. We've got that posted up for you if you'd like to check it out. All right, some of the other headlines we're following. Beach Nourishment, update on the Beach Nourishment projects, which will be coming next year. This past week, the Dare County Board of Commissioners voted unanimously to adopt an initial resolution authorizing the negotiation of an installment financing contract for the beach nourishment projects that are planned to take place for Duck, Southern Shores, Kitty Hawk, and Killable Hills. This is just one more piece of the puzzle in getting the beach nourishment projects done. So the initial resolution states, among other items, that the projects are essential to county. There's no property tax increase necessary to finance the projects, and the financed amount will not exceed $13 million. This is really just the money that's going to be used from the occupancy tax fund from the county, because the county collects the occupancy tax. That's the hotel, motel, and vacation rental tax. The $13 million come from that fund that's established for beach nourishment. Now, the bids have come in. Last Thursday, the bids came in for the four North Beach Town projects, the Duck, Southern Shores, Kitty Hawk, and Killable Hills projects. Weeks Marine had the low bid of $27.9 million. Great Lakes Dock and Dredge at $34.6 million, and Manson Construction Company at $45.9 million. Weeks Marine, with the low bid, has been recommended as the bid to get the contract for the four North Beach towns. Now, Weeks Marine did the Buxton project back in 2017 and 18 that ran into a lot of problems. Weeks Marine ran into a lot of problems with the type of equipment they were using, and not only to have delays with the equipment issues, but also the weather. So that really pushed that project back. Great Lakes Marine, or Great Lakes Dock and Dredge, has had the contracts for the North Beach projects that have taken place dating back to 2011. They had the Nags Head project in 2011. Then they came back in 17 and did all the beaches plus Nags Head. We'll see what happens, but Weeks Marine coming with that low bid. Looks like Weeks Marine's going to have at least the 4 Northern Beach Town projects. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to have all of the projects. We haven't seen the rest of the bids yet for Nags Head, for South Nags Head, Avon, and Buxton. Those are the other 2, but you would have to assume that if one company is going to do the northern beaches for Duck, Southern Shores, Kitty Hawk, and Killable Hills, they're going to end up doing the Nags Head project as well. It would make sense. We'll see. We haven't learned yet what the bids are, but they will be awarding the bids at the next Dare County Board of Commissioners meeting, which is coming up this coming Monday. So the rest of the town, Southern Shores, Duck, Killable Hills, and Kitty Hawk, are having to have meetings to accept those bids. Duck's already done so, and the other towns will be doing so next. Of course, those 4 towns, the 4 northern beach towns of Duck, Southern Shores, Killable Hills, and Kitty Hawk, are paying for the project out of a tax increase on property in their towns and the money that comes from the Beach Nourishment Fund. Nags Head, with the portion they're going to do for South Nags Head, that's going to be paid for mostly out of money from the federal government, from FEMA. Same thing for the Buxton project. The Avon project will be using a combination of the occupancy tax, the Beach Nourishment Fund out of the occupancy tax, and a hike of property taxes in Avon. So more on that coming up, and expect to see more details and more developments here in the next 2 weeks. Everything's on plan right now for them to do the projects next spring and summer. South Nags Head. Nags Head has already put out saying here's where the project area is, which is from Jeanette's Pier to, it's pretty much all of South Nags Head is going to be getting sand next year. And they are likely to have a full preliminary schedule by the next spring. There's pretty much, they're kind of certain, not so much certain where they're going to start, but it's a pretty good idea. It's going to start at Jeanette's and then about halfway down and then kind of working the way in the middle. So that's the latest on the Nags Head project. But we'll have more on it. We'll have more on it at obxtoday.com. All right, in sports, got one high school football game that got bumped up today. That is First Light at Northeastern. That game was to be played at First Light on Friday. They're going to play it at Northeastern tonight. That in part to avoid the weather, that forecast coming up for Thursday and Friday with rain. So they want to go ahead and get that game in. But to do that, they had to play it at Northeastern. High school soccer, you got Manio and First Light tonight in Killable Hills, JV and varsity doubleheader. Camden's at Curritucks, Edenton at Northeastern, Pascal Tank at Gates, and volleyball Northside is at Camden. A couple of news stories we didn't get to here. One, Ocracoke Express passenger ferry. They transported over 16,000 passengers this summer between Hatteras and Ocracoke villages. Service did begin about a month late on June 21st. They were originally hoping to get it started for Memorial Day weekend, but because the state-owned vessel wasn't ready and the funding wasn't there to lease a vessel, it was decided to had to wait, and they got the money through the legislature and began June 21st, ran through Labor Day, 16,594 people. That was the third straight season that they've leased a vessel. Also, among those vessels, 1,020, or among those trips, 1,020 passengers brought bikes for the ride. Now, this season, the Ocracoke Express averaged 213 passengers a day. That's well above what was run in 2020, which is 97 per day. And the ferry division does look forward to continuing its passenger ferry service next season, and they'll likely be doing it with their own vessel rather than one that has to be leased. That's the plan anyway, as the Ocracoke Express has been completed. It's sitting at Silver Lake. They're going to get training done with the crews before they get to launch that, and that's what part of the all-season they're hoping to be able to do that. Of course, they're going to have to get more personnel, as is, because like everybody else, having all the personnel issues. Today, is the beginning of a construction project in Frisco. Of course, with the weather down there and the rain that we're supposed to get, may not be happening as fast. But improvements to the Frisco bathhouse, about almost $900,000. They're going to get 36 additional parking spaces. What they're going to do is they're going to close all the parking lot, leave 25 spaces open while the work's going on. And then part of it is to add another 36. That's to make up for the parking spots that were lost when the National Park Service acquired the old Frisco Pier property. And the plan was to use that as a beach access with a parking lot there. Well, over time with the erosion, over time with the amount of overwash, that parking lot became unviable and has been taken out. It's taken out 2 years ago. So now they're going to add these parking spots down outside Frisco, between Frisco and Hatteras, at the beach access. They're going to revamp the bathrooms, new showers, and a lot of other things are going to be added in there. Temporarily, they're going to put in some shower and bathroom facilities to make it through the off season, and those are being put in today. And that project expected to take until next spring there at the Frisco bathhouse. The upstairs section of the Ocean Bay Boulevard beach access in Killable Hills, that's going to be closed for the next several days. They're going to be working on the lookout platform at the top of the building. So if you like to use the Ocean Bay Boulevard access in Killable Hills, that's the one across from Stop and Shop. A lot of people will say, well, it's the end of Collington Road. No, Collington Road actually ends farther down. Anyway, the main access where the lifeguards in Killable Hills are based, that's just you're just gonna be able to walk on the beach on the sand route, not be able to go up and over, and the bathrooms are not be available. That should be for the next couple of days. Hopefully by the weekend they'll have that reopened. And a reminder, the recreational flounder season in North Carolina waters has closed at midnight. Just a 14-day season as part of management efforts to rebuild the stock of southern flounder. The commercial flounder season opening today in the sounds and adjacent waters from Morgan Inlet North. That lasts through October 1st. Then the central waters, the Pamlico Sound, and the adjacent waters will open on October 1st. So no more keeping flounder for recreational fishermen. Put them back. I got to go back. All right, OBX Today Weather Center forecast for today. We're going to see sunny skies on the north beaches, but down on Hatteras, it's going to be some shower activity, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. High 85 with south winds of 10 to 15 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, some overnight showers and storms. A better chance the farther south you go. A low 72, south winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Start with some patchy fog in the morning, then a chance of showers off and on during the day. Good, otherwise partly sunny skies, high of 84 with northeast winds 10 miles an hour. Thursday night, a few showers and storms and a low 71. Friday, showers and thunderstorms just scattered. Chance moderate. It's going to be kind of like widely scattered, really. It's not going to be a washout. Some places may not see anything and stay partly sunny. Other places may get rained on. That's how things are going to go Friday as that tropical depression passes, or potential tropical depression passes by offshore. North winds at 10 miles an hour on Friday. Saturday, sunny 84. Sunday, sunny 85. Monday, sunny 85. Tuesday, sunny 85. Coastal marine forecast today, we got south winds 5 to 10 knots, 1 foot waves or less in the sounds. Seas around 2 feet, a rip current risk is low. Water temperatures in the low to mid 70s. And we got a low tide coming up at Oregon Inlet at 9:47 this morning. Currently outside the studios in Uptown Nags Head, overcast and 77 degrees. And again, showers as you head farther south. You can see it's raining in Avon and raining just offshore Hatteras as well. And that is going to do it for OBX Today for this Wednesday, 15th day of September. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Have yourself a great Wednesday, everybody. See ya.